I'm going to give you a list of 7 best UFC MMA fighters. Krav Maga guys must watch, and I'll tell you why. Plus, there's one really good fighter you should never ever watch if you want to be a good Kraver. Let's start right now.
Are you listening? Damn.
Hey, my name is Edmund, I'm a Krav Maga expert. If this is your first time here and you're into Krav Maga, martial arts, self-defense and fighting, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our videos. And real quick, before I give you my list, tell me in the comments below which fighter is your favorite and why do you like him. Right, number 7, Roy Nelson. Right, having a club fit to fight back. It's not that easy for me to recommend to watch Roy Nelson. I mean, let's be honest, he's pretty fat. He doesn't look like a fighter, but he is. Why am I recommending for you to watch Roy Nelson is for 2 reasons. First of all, I want to encourage you, if you happen to be a bit overweight at this moment and you want to do Krav to get fit, you have a perfect example that you can be a good fighter when you are actually overweight. With his belly, it looks ridiculous at the beginning, but when you see him fighting, you stop laughing and you start respecting this guy. At least the guys who he knocked out started respecting him a lot. So one reason is encouragement. I really want to encourage you to keep going, to actually get good at fighting, even if you are not perfectly shaped at this moment. But on the other hand, remember, your goal is to get healthier and fitter as you do Krav. So don't keep that as an excuse. Again, keep in touch, subscribe to our channel and I'll give you some pointers and a lot of videos on diet and how to get very fit and how to get your six-pack. Second reason why you should actually watch Roy Nelson is if you are starting Krav Maga now, you might think that just because you train a little bit you can fight anyone, and just because you have a six-pack and you are pretty muscly, it might be the case, you can fight anyone. And these fat guys, you know that you can fight them anytime, of course, because they can't fight, right? The biggest lesson you will learn in Krav Maga is don't underestimate anyone, and I mean anyone. First thing you would think about Roy Nelson, probably seeing him in a bar, would be I can take this guy, right? And I can tell you would have a lot of problems with him. And that would be a bad idea to actually even try to fight this guy. So mainly keep in mind, anyone can be dangerous, anyone can fight. Until you see someone moving, you've got no clue. I've seen skinny guys, tall, short, fat, anything you want, women and anyone, and you'll be so surprised how these people can move because they are trained, just because they put the hours, they put the dedication and invested in that time. So the message is, don't pick up fights when you don't have to. Simple as that. His signature move is overhand punch. It's an amazing punch. He's extending his range so much, it's incredible. The power of the punch, it's killing. It's a killing shot. People just drop down very often, very fast. What he's doing basically is he's throwing his whole body forward under possible counter, and he's throwing it overhand at the top, through the top. Very amazingly long punch, and also delivers so much power that everyone gets knocked out. So what he's doing, his punch goes through the guard, and it's an awkward angle to defend actually, because it goes from the top and kind of at an angle which no one expects. So it's not a proper hook, it's not an uppercut or anything like this, or not a straight, it's just from the top and like at 45 degrees from the top. Very hard to defend. Number 6, Jon Jones. Alright, this guy is one of the top fighters in the world. What I like about Jon Jones is that he's a very creative fighter. He's got his essentials down properly. He can fight like a kickboxer and moves so well. At the same time, he pulls off moves which no one expects. All the spinning elbows, oblique kicks. And what I love also is that he uses his reach fully. Some fighters keep their punches really short. They keep like hooking most of the time, and even if they go with a straight punch, it's halfway through. He can get you from like 2 meters away easily. On the other hand, remember, as a Kraver, creativity, you have to balance that with protection all the time, hands up. Again, creativity can be a good thing in Krav Maga. At a high level of Krav, you have to be creative to sort out unexpected problems. Still, remember to sort out your fundamentals before you try to be too creative. There's nothing more funny than watching a person who can't actually stand in a proper fighting stance and is already trying to be creative. Number 5, Mark Hunt. His signature thing is a walk away KO. So basically he punches people in a way that he's sure they're going to go down. He knocks someone out, and before they hit the ground, he's already walking away. And this guy can take a punch. He can take a lot of punishment. He's standing on his feet and he's fighting like a crazy guy. What is interesting also is his body composition. This type of guys are strong, and for a big guy he can move fast. That's also incredible. So take an example, if this is your body type, you can be an amazing fighter. And the next few will be legends, so stay around. Number 4, Mirko Cro Cop. One of my personal favorites. I love his style, I love how he fights, and he evolved also as a fighter throughout his career. He's definitely a classic kickboxer. His deadly weapon is his left roundhouse. One thing you have to remember is he's a left-handed guy. So if you observe his fighting and you try to absorb and copy what he's doing, make sure that you are standing in the correct position. What's your correct position is with your stronger leg back. If you're a right-handed person, it's your right leg to the back. If you're left-handed, it's your left leg to the back. So either this with right-handed people or that for left-handed people. Now again, his roundhouse is deadly. Many people found out. He's not one of the creative guys, and this is amazing because he keeps his traditional stance all the time in his kickboxing type of world. That kept him successful throughout his life, and he's a legend in fighting. He's very useful for us to watch because his kickboxer type of style and stance. His punching power is incredible. Up to a point he wasn't that good at defending takedowns and knowing what to do on the ground. But at some point he realized that was his weakness, and he sorted that out, and he was much better at takedowns. Plus he started doing huge amount of ground and pound. In his recent fights he actually destroyed quite a few people with his elbows on the ground and ground fighting. So overall, Mirko Cro Cop is an amazing fighter. He's respected in the whole world as a fighter, and I'm sure lots of people got inspired by his fighting. Number 3, Fedor Emelianenko. That's another legend in fighting history. At some point, definitely the best fighter in the world. There was no one who could beat him, and actually at some point Cro Cop fought Fedor and Cro Cop lost. It's an amazing fight, I really recommend watching that one. Fedor is a Russian guy, his style is a sambo. What I love about him and why I think crabbers should watch him a lot is he's like a shark. Once he smells blood, he goes for the kill. There's no hesitation, there's no doubting, it's just going for it. His ground and pound is incredible also. Once he got someone on the ground, he could finish that fight. Also from submission, he's very good at wrestling, and his submission on the ground is amazing. For a heavyweight guy, he's an incredible athlete. There was a moment in one of his fights when people thought it's the first death in MMA fighting. He got dropped on his head, and about half a minute later he won the fight. No one could believe it. His punching power is incredible. I would not personally recommend actually his hands down type of position a little bit, but it's his style, that's how he does it. Remember why he's doing that also. These guys fight for about 15-20 minutes at a time. It's incredibly important for them to drop the hands to save some energy, and they can easily predict who's fighting them. There's one person in front of them. In Krav Maga, don't do that because you don't know who's going to fight you in a split of a second. So as much as they can drop their hands, they can allow themselves to drop their hands a little bit, just to rest, just to get some oxygen in the muscles again. You should not do that. Your fight will not last for 20 minutes, trust me. What's incredible about Fedor is also watch him before a fight. He's such a respectful person. He's not pumped. He's not trying to talk trash. He's just there to do the job he does well. He doesn't need to prove anything. He's not disrespectful to the opponent. He just beats him up. There's another fight he did, almost got knocked out. He got so wobbly on his legs. Very incredible situation, and he survived. More than that, again, he won the fight. So something for a crabber to learn is the fighting spirit. He got punched, he got almost knocked out, and still he won the fight. Number 2, Wanderlei Silva. He's a very strong, brutal fighter. Sometimes he appears like a crazy guy, and crazy is what crabbers need sometimes. When you are fighting for your life, you should have a switch in your body, basically from the nicest person in the world to the most crazy animal. And that's because no one wants to fight an animal. And you can watch Silva's fights, his approach. I can tell you, not many people wanted to fight him. Funny enough, the only person who actually enjoyed looking at him and looking at Silva like at his food was Mirko Cro Cop. But again, remember, Mirko Cro Cop is a top fighter in the world. He's a leader of Special Forces team in Croatia. This guy can handle stress. So anyway, that time I think Silva got a little bit shaken. But when someone like Cro Cop is looking at you like this, I think it's reasonable. In any case, Silva is an excellent example for us. Once you go for it, you go for it. You are the animal, you are the winner, there's no question. And in this case, crazy is good. Okay, the fighter you should never watch. And okay, don't get me wrong, I want you to watch him, but I want you to be careful with what you are picking up, what you are absorbing. Actually, it's one of the best fighters in the world. Okay, who I'm thinking about is Anderson Silva. One of the best fighters in the world, very creative and very, very good fighter. But that's exactly what I want you to be careful with, the creativity. He's an awesome fighter, he moves well, he's an excellent guy at judging distance and moving out of punches and range, and he's doing very, very well. But even in UFC fights, 1-to-1, he misjudges the distance sometimes and gets punished. So imagine what can happen to you if we are fighting on the street, fighting possibly 2 people or 3, you don't never know. So again, creativity, good, fun thing to do, but when you are risking your life, I would be careful with being creative. As I said other times, first of all, get your basics, get your essentials. Start fighting like a good kickboxer. Then if you are an amazing master of kickboxing already, then you can start being a little bit more creative and start behaving a little bit more like Anderson Silva. Although personally, if I saw you doing a Krav Maga grading or anything like that and moving like Anderson Silva with your hands down and being really cool at movements, that's a fail to me. So mainly it's the hands down and really not protecting his head. If you are fighting Krav style, your hands should be protecting your head all the time. Any strike, we can't afford ourselves to get knocked out like he did. I mean, you know, the worst case scenario for this guy was losing a fight. Nothing more happened really. The opponent stopped the second he got knocked out. I'm guessing your opponent wouldn't be that kind. So again, the main thing, don't drop your hands down. Keep them up, keep protecting your head. Anything below your eyes and higher than your chin. Why is that below your eyes? If you keep your hands higher than your eyes, you're actually losing so much peripheral vision. So keeping your hands too high, you're missing out of hundreds of people around you, or who knows how many. But keeping your hands lower than your chin, of course, uncovers your chin and you can get knocked out easier. So the rule is anything below your eyes, higher than your chin. When you're fighting for your life in Krav Maga or any type of self-defense situation, there's no referee to stop the fight. There's no one to help you when you get knocked out. What the attacker would do, you never know. You have no control over that. There are no rules on the street and you have to take care of yourself all the time. Number 1, Cody Garbrandt. Okay, I really like this guy. I really like his style. He's a very dynamic fighter. He moves like a kickboxer. Most of the time his hands are up all the time. He's not switching too much. He's not playing too much. He's just a really good hard-working fighter. For a Kraver, very good fighter to watch. Again, he's more of a kickboxing type of style. Hands are up all the time. His stance is proper all the time. He's not playing around or switching. There's one thing you should watch out for and not really absorb and copy from him. I personally think he most of the time goes for power shots, power hooks. So he's not really extending his arm fully. What he does is going for really, really strong hook punches. So you don't want to do that all the time. Why is that? Because I think personally, self-defense, you could replace that with creating distance. And he's generally getting into close distance, and the closer you are, the more risky it is. Unfortunately, he paid for that risk twice in his 2 recent fights, and he got knocked out by TJ. It's so unfortunate to see that because I really like his style and I think he deserves to win. But again, that risk of close distance and going for huge, powerful shots, that didn't pay off for him. So my recommendation is keep punching with really, really long distance, really long range. Here you can see what I mean from Nate Diaz. I mean, you can't approach this guy with this type of punch. He's extending fully. His elbow is straight, the shoulder is going to the front. He gets you from long distance. He's not playing risky games. This list is not about people who's the best one, because to be very honest, all 7 guys I just listed, they are amazing fighters and I want you to watch all of them. But all of them have some little things which you should not take and absorb for your Krav Maga. So study them, watch them carefully, see what you want to take out from their fighting, their styles. And in the end of the day, once you've got your fundamentals and your essential Krav Maga, with your body type, with your specific abilities, you'll have your own style. But again, do not try to have your style before you learn proper essentials. What I mean by essentials is kickboxing, fighting stance, hands up all the time, don't drop them, learn powerful shots, good rotation, good kicks, good elbows, ground fighting, wrestling, and then you'll be good. But wait, where's Khabib? Where's Conor? Yeah, they just didn't make my list. They're not good enough. No, okay, fair enough. They're good, both of them. The point is, I think they deserve another video, separate video. I will comment on both of them. If you are interested, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, you might miss that. Please tell me in your comments below your favorite fighters. Did I get one of them maybe on this list, or let me know which ones you like and why you like them. By the way, this is not a comprehensive list of every fighter I would recommend for you to watch. This is a list of fighters I think you should start with, and then expand it as much as you want, and I'll give you more as we go. I'll post another video soon to give you more fighters. There's another video coming soon, is 5 UFC fighters you should not watch if you want to be a good Kraver. If you are into fighting, Krav Maga, self-defense and martial arts, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you get our new videos. Thanks for watching, stay safe, keep training, and I'll see you in the next video.